Positive Anime Reviews is a review show that is designed for people who aren't very picky about their anime, like me. Most anime I watch ends up in my 5 out of 5 category. My reviews are for those people who are looking for a reason to watch anime rather than hate on it. I am willing to give any and all anime a chance before stating my opinion. Lastly, my reviews are all my opinion and might and or most likely will not match yours. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. Just be respectful in the comment section. Thank you. And as always, possible spoiler warning ahead. Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with another positive anime review. Today we will be talking about, and again I'm going to crush this name, Haganai, I think is the name. And the Japanese name will of course be in the description down below, so if you want to see what the Japanese name is, because I'm not going to attempt to read it, then I would encourage you to go look at it. Now, this anime, it of course, it's more known by it's mostly referred to as Haganai. I don't have many friends. It's its English name. Most people just call it Haganai, and if you search it, that's what'll come right up. The Japanese name it's not even similar. And so if you're actually going to look for it in any anime site, it will be under its Japanese name, like most anime is when you're watching it. But anyway. So, I just finished watching this one. It's been a little bit since my last positive anime review, simply because this anime has 2 seasons, and so it just took longer to get through, in all honesty. And it's kind of funny, because I'm trying very hard to make sure I give this anime a fair shake as far as reviews go, just because what was really funny is, obviously, my last positive anime review was Goblin Slayer, I think. And so after coming right off of that, which was really brutal, really mature, definitely, and after watching that, this one, I was looking for other, like, mature adult anime is what I was after. I was after kind of a more adult feel, because I really enjoy that, and I really enjoyed Goblin Slayer for that reason and stuff, so that's what I wanted. And then it was funny, because I looked up a list, and then the list said that this one, that Haganai was definitely 18 plus, or whatever. So I watched it, and it's not even similar. So it's just funny, because the list I got, whoever made that list is clearly like a lightweight or something, because it's so not 18 plus. But anyway, so but it wasn't bad, and I did want to get through it, because I didn't want to watch 2 episodes and be like, this isn't it, and then leave. I've done that with a couple of anime that I really should have, maybe not should have finished, but I really try to finish what I start, especially in anime, because if you start it and you get this isn't what I feel like, and you leave it, it kind of gives you at least for me, it gives me a bad memory of the anime, and so I'm like, but I didn't finish it last time, it might not be good, or whatever, and so it's hard to go back and be like, alright, this time for sure. So usually it's easier just to start something and finish it, even if you're not in the mood, just get through it, because it's easier to do that than go back if you weren't interested. But anywho, not the point. So, getting started into this one. Now, of course, you guys know what anime we are reviewing. Now, as far as airing goes, now there is 2 seasons of this anime, and the first season aired in 2011, so obviously it's been a little while, and then season 2 aired in 2013, I believe, because I'm looking at the page for season 1, and so anyway, so I'm pretty sure season 2 aired in 2013, so obviously it's been a while. So it's not exactly like all the 2018 anime that I've been watching recently. Now, reading the synopsis will be, of course, how we're going to go into this. It'll be the easiest way of getting through it. And of course, most any Japanese name in here I'm going to crush, and I apologize. Anyway, when Kodaka Hasegawa finds out that he will be transferring to a new school, he's determined to make a positive impression, and maybe even some friends. However, Kodaka discovers he is out of luck when he immediately gets labeled as a violent delinquent due to his blonde hair and intimidating expression. Although a month has passed, Kodaka is still alone thanks to his notorious reputation. However, his life begins to change when he finds fellow loner Yozora Mikazuki talking to her imaginary friend in an empty classroom. After sharing stories of their lonely high school life, Kodaka and Yuzora decide to overcome the difficulties of making friends together by starting the Neighbors Club, created for people who don't have friends. Daily activities involve learning social skills and how to fit in, which will hopefully allow them to make friends. Joined by I've never been able to say this word, eroge, maybe? I mean, I don't know if it's phonetically, but it's like ecchi loving, basically. Ecchi loving Senna, her last name is so brutal. Senna Kashiwazaki, there you go, I can say it. With my stutter, a lot of things are hard to go into. But anyway, not the point. And other eccentric outcasts, Kodaka may have finally managed to find people he can call friends in this club filled with hilarious oddballs. So, basically, it is a slice of life, in case you can't tell. When I went into it, I didn't realize that at very first, and I was like, okay, it's slice of life. That's fine. It's still supposedly 18 plus, and I'm like, and then I watched, then I was going through it, I'm like, this isn't 18 plus at all. This is an adult even a little bit, but it was still good, so whatever. Anywho, so as far as our genres or how clean it is, going into genre first, the genres are ecchi, slice of life, comedy, harem, romance, and school, pretty much. Now, I would take the ecchi with a grain of salt, because there is a tiny bit of ecchi stuff, but if you guys have watched anything like high school, like whether it's high school DD or high school DxD, I've always said DxD, so it's what I'm going to continue to say. But anyway, if you watch high school DxD, this is so very much, they're so clean by comparison. Like, there's a lot of other ecchis which are so much dirtier, that this is definitely more slice of life comedy harem romance rather than ecchi. And the rating on the site says R for sure, but that's so not true. I very much disagree with that. So as far as cleanliness is concerned, its worst fault is going to be language. The language, and then there is there's not real sexual content, because it's not too bad. There is obviously some of the standard ecchi moments, but it's not like you're watching a hentai or anything like it's advertised. That's certainly not true. Its biggest thing is going to be language. There's lots of like innuendos, like in how they're talking and stuff, but especially, it's mostly just language, like swearing is for me what I noticed, and it didn't bother me at all. Of course, I don't mind swearing at all, but it is something to be aware of. So this anime, I don't know how clean I would rate it, because it wasn't very ecchi. There was language, but I wouldn't say in today's world that most any teenager wouldn't be fine with it. So I feel like that if you're an older teenager, I wouldn't say 18 plus, because that makes it sound like it's an adult thing only, and I don't think it really is. I think honestly, most any high schooler pretty much could get away with watching this and be totally fine. So I would say maybe PG-13, maybe, because in today's world, I think PG-13 is a better, more accurate description. So anyway, similar anime, of course, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of ecchi slice of life harem romances. There's countless anime that are similar. Like High School DxD is far more extreme than this is, and this is slice of life, so it's not like fantasy based. So I don't know about similar anime, but it's ecchi slice of life harem romance, so it's exactly what you might expect. Now, the season length, there is 2 seasons, and they are both 12 episodes apiece. So it's pretty quick watching, because even though it is 2 seasons, of course, they are not too long, and I got through it pretty quick, I feel like. So, but anyway, so moving into our next section is the characters. So there is actually a plethora of characters. A lot of them, there's a lot of main characters, and then in season 2, they mostly introduce a few side characters, but they are definitely side characters. So our main characters are going to be Kodaka. He is the main male character. Something that on a quick side note, something that I'm going to try doing is explaining characters better, because in the past, I tend to just read the names and I move on. And for the rest of them, I'm going to try to make a bigger point to describe who the character is, because I don't do that, so people have no way of knowing, but even a couple sentences about who the characters are would clear things up. Anyway, main character is definitely Kodaka. He is the main male character, and he's maybe the only male, like one of a couple of males in the entire anime, and he is the main character. The other 2 main characters are Yozora. She is the black-haired female character, and she is a fireball. She's interesting. And the other main character is Senna. She is the blonde-haired other main character. Now, I feel like those are the biggest 3. Those are the biggest 3 that it mostly revolves around. Now, in season 2, they put a higher emphasis on a couple of other characters. One of the side characters, his name is Rika Shiguma, and obviously her first name Rika, and she is the genius scientist type of character. Now, she is very smart, but obviously pretty much minds to herself. They put a much higher emphasis on her in season 2, and they give her much more screen time, which is fine, because at first her character she's very obsessed with ecchis and I think it's pronounced yaoi, which is like gay romance and stuff. And she is she's very obsessed with that, and she's constantly dropping like crazy innuendos, and she's really dirty and stuff. But at first I'm like, all right, she's that standard character that you would expect. However, in season 2 they really do flesh her out, and they give her like personality. They show other sides to her. They change her look up, which really helps you like her. So by season 2, you're like, wow, she's really awesome. And so I'm really happy that they did flesh her out. Now Rika is more of a a supporting character in the first season. She's one of the main group of the members of the Neighbors Club, but she doesn't get as much time as Yozora or Senna or Kodaka. But in season 2, she gets much more time. So now other supporting characters are Kobato, and she is Kobato Hasagawa. She is the little sister of Kodaka, obviously, and she is obsessed with this anime TV show, and she constantly is like talking like this vampire girl that she dresses up as, and she's adorable and fun, and you really do like her as well. But she's definitely a supporting character. Then you have Maria Takayama. She is another supporting character who is also a member of the Neighbors Club. Then you have Yukimura, and she's another supporting character. Actually, back up. It's hard to keep remembering. Maria she's a little girl, pretty close to age to Kobato, and she and Kobato are constantly butting heads. And Maria dresses like a nun because it's technically like a religious school, according to what I understand. And then another character is Yukimura. Now that's pretty much your main cast of Neighbors Club members. There's a few other side characters, but nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. But that's really the main cast who you're going to really deal with. Now, season 2 adds a couple of other characters, but again, it's nothing to really write home about. It's nothing crazy. They have a couple of appearances, and they're referenced and mentioned, but they're nothing they're not incredibly important. But that's basically the main group of main characters. Now, again, backing up, I keep forgetting to talk about him, but Yukimura is the pink-haired girl. She often, in the first season, she dresses a lot like a maid, and she is obsessed with like serving Kodaka, and she's very quiet, and personally I really liked her a whole bunch. Now, as far as my favorite character in the whole anime goes, I think either Yukimura or Senna, I think, are my two favorite characters. Now, one thing that I did really enjoy that is honestly I didn't expect, especially going in, but there's actually a lot of good serious moments in this anime, which it's no secret if you've watched my reviews by now, but I have a high emphasis on seriousness. For me, I just often don't stick around for slice of life like ecchi comedy romances if it's just innuendos or if it's just ecchi moments. You know what I mean? It's not enough to hold my attention, and so I always want something serious. I want the feels, and especially when they're good feels, and this anime did deliver. Now, the first season was much more goofy than the second. Season 1 was much more focused on the comedy, but there was serious moments. There was plot and serious moments that held it together for me. It does introduce backstory for the characters, for Yozora and Senna and Kodaka. The other ones are more supporting, and they don't really get too much backstory. They maybe get mentioned, but with the main three, they get backstory that shows how they're connected and stuff, and it was cool. Now, in season 2, they actually really stepped it up. Season 2 was much more feels moments, which is the reason that I actually liked season 2 for the most part a lot more. Season 2, they went much heavier with the feels moments, and they introduced more backstory and fun moments. And then the last few episodes, they actually really got really not heavy like they were depressing, but they really went heavy with like the feels and stuff. And there was some really cool moments where you're waiting for resolution, and there's all this drama is happening between characters, and it was really heavy and it was really cool. Now, another one of the strong points of this anime is its dialogue. It's the actual commentary and everyone talking. The dialogue was really funny. There was a lot of dialogue that actually made me smile or laugh or whatever. And then a lot of crazy hijinks moments, which actually finally got to me. You know what I mean? And a lot of other animes, when they're like, "Oh, it's so funny, it's a comedy," I'm like, "Is it?" And so it doesn't really do very much. But the dialogue in this one actually made me laugh. I liked it a lot. Anyway, and so I had fun and I really enjoyed it. So basically, we can move on. So animation and music. Animation was good. It was really well. It was really well animated, really well put together. It wasn't like it wasn't supposed to be artful. Like you weren't like staring at the art being like, holy crap, like it's so pretty, because it wasn't so much. That wasn't really what it was going for. It did a fine job, of course. It was really fine to look at. There was never any point where I was like, ew. It was really really good to look at. The music was also fine. It did its job. There wasn't like very much of it in the actual anime. There was just your standard background music, but it was 100% fine. It did its job. Its opening and closing songs were totally fine. It was very, I think, suiting for the anime and stuff, and it was really cool. Now, going into final rating and recommendation. So I'm going to rate these two seasons separately. So season 1 will be first, of course. Season 1, I'm going to give a 5 out of 5. Very good. This anime made no mistakes worth noting and is definitely worth a buy. And I do stick by that. It was really good. In season 1, it was interesting and fun, and there was enough feels moments to keep me entertained, and then enough character backstory that you were happy, and lots of cool, like, you're waiting for people to realize things that they were, like, talking about in the throughout the anime, which was really fun, and I really did like that. So yeah, recommendation, I do think it was really good and well put together, and it was really fun. So going into season 2's rating. Now, season 2 is going to be interesting. So it's kind of in a weird place. So first, let's go into its rating. Season 2, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. Not bad. This anime was mostly really good, with 1 or 2 things that bothered me, but still worth a buy. So the reason behind that. Okay, so now quickly, spoiler warning ahead, because to explain this, I'm gonna have to get into things. Okay, so spoiler warning ahead. Now, this anime, the ending wasn't great. The ending there at first there was Kodaka. It actually spelled out some things that I didn't think they were actually going to talk about. Kodaka, the girls throughout the anime will often say things that's like, they'll like tell them that they like him, and they'll say it really quietly, and then he'll be like, what was that? And it was this thing throughout the anime that he like pretends to not hear. Well, throughout the anime, you're just used to this, like, it's like the standard trope of the character not realizing that all of these people love him or whatever, and that's just how it was, and I was used to that. But this anime did something different, where at the end they actually addressed that, where they said that Rika was actually the one to point it out, and that was a lot of the reason that it got really, really heavy. But anyway. And so it was interesting. It was interesting. So basically, the main character actually does hear what people say, but he like pulls away as people get closer, as the girls will say something. He pretends to not hear. Well, at the end of season 2, Senna, one of my favorite characters, just straight up tells him that she loves him out loud, middle of the room. Everyone heard it, like incredibly obvious. And he freaks out, and he like grabs his stuff and like runs away, because that's what he does. He's scared of like not commitment, but like sort of committing to friendship. He's not very good at making friends. None of them are. They all have quirks, and that they're all outcasts and stuff. And so he's not very good at that. So when people try to get closer, he pulls away. And so he's like scared of like committing to friendship, because he's scared of getting hurt, which I get, honestly. But when Senna like straight up confesses, he freaks out and runs away. And he runs away for like a week, where he doesn't even see him and avoids them all. Well, then at the very end, they finally talk about it, and it finally gets like sort of resolved. And then right at the end, they set up to like resolve it. But then instead of finishing it and being done, they drop like all of these things really rapid succession, so that you have all these questions and all this stuff happens, and so they don't actually resolve it. And so it's kind of hard, because they set up for all of these questions and all this stuff that needs to be resolved that they didn't resolve instead. And so it's hard. It's a little rough, because it's a little rough, because instead of resolving it, they add more questions, and they set up for another season is what they were doing. So now they're set up for a season 3, and obviously the last one aired in 2013. And now commercially, from what I understand, they did really well. the studio and everyone has said that they did really well. Everybody really liked it, and they have lots of fans. So, and they have not officially said this is it. It has not been labeled as canceled or cut off. It's still open, so it's not being made right now. At least it wasn't as of 2018. It wasn't, but they have not said it's being canceled either. So I would sort of wait on bated breath and see if we get a season 3. I would love a season 3, and it would. And that's the other thing that I'm gonna say is my score for season 2 is based upon I rated it as if we're not getting another season, because if we don't, then it was good enough to probably still own, but it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth when they don't really resolve it in season 2, and you're worried there's not going to be another season. And so it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So that's the reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. If a season 3 happens, and if questions get answered, things get resolved, then I would absolutely bump up the score. Absolutely. It would definitely go to 5 out of 5. This anime was really, really cool. It had the regular tropes that you would expect, but it had more to it. There was an underlying arc of storytelling that was better than the average ecchi and stuff. That's why I liked it, is because underneath it all, it was really relatable, because a lot of people struggle with making friends and stuff. Now, in my personal life, this one hit home for me a little bit, because that is something I have struggled with. I am horrible at making friends. I have had friends, but over time we drifted apart. And part of that is reality. It's growing up. It's adulthood. You moved away. Whatever. But some of that is because I have, with my depression and anxiety, I'm not very good at maintaining friendships, and I often don't feel like seeing people. And there's very few people that get that they're like, that's fine. I can be your friend around that. That all they see is your problems and they're done. So this anime hit home for me because all of these characters they all have quirks. They have things about them that makes other people not like them. But then that's what this club is then based around finding friends. But throughout, they all become friends. And so then by the end, some of them say it out loud that they're like, we're all friends now. They're like, the whole goal of this was to make friends, but we did that or whatever. But it's kind of annoying because they don't resolve it for everybody, and not everybody acknowledges that. And then right as Kodaka and Seno are about to talk and they're about to hash out what she said and he's gonna hopefully apologize for running off like a coward, it gets interrupted and they set up for another season, which may or may not happen. So anyway. So that's basically my review. This review was a little longer, just because there was more to talk about. And honestly, I feel like that I often glaze over things just because I'm worried about time or something. I'm gonna try and stop doing that. That's what the reviews are for. It's for me to tell you if they're good or bad. So I want to give you my honest thoughts. So I'm gonna try and stop being so focused on time and making it quick, make it quick. I'm gonna try and spend more time at making them good. It's not necessarily about making them quick. And make them informative. So that's my new goal, and I want to make them fun, I want to make them informative, and I want you guys to get my honest thoughts and opinions. The couple of things that I'm noticing is characters. I don't often go into who these characters are. Actually, right now I'm going to add this to my document. There we go. That's for you guys. Anyway, and so basically I worry that I gloss over things, and I worry that I ramble and not incredibly informative. So my goal is to make better reviews, and I think and I hope that will help you guys out. So anyway, I think that's going to call it for this review. So naturally the score would be, I would love to bump it up if we got another season, and it's still worth owning even if that doesn't get resolved. The rest of it was still so good that it is worth owning. The message at the end was really, really good, and even if a couple of the characters talked it out, like the resolution and stuff, at least it got mentioned. At least it was said to some degree. So it's not so bad that I'm like, don't buy it, don't watch it. Do watch it, but know that it's not going to be as resolved as you would want it to be. There is some resolution. It's just not to the degree that I would have wished for. So that's basically my review of this anime. Anywho, so that is going to call it for this one. As far as uploads today are concerned, there will be no gaming part going out today. I have lots of stuff to do. But on Monday, we will be going back on schedule, and I have a doctor's appointment Monday, but it is earlier as far as my wake-up time is concerned, so I am hopeful that we will... I'm not even hopeful. I most likely our recording will still happen. It'll just, as soon as I'm done with my doctor's appointment and I have to go shopping, and then when I get home, I will record immediately. So the recording will be a little bit later than I would like to record, but it'll still go up for Monday. And then Tuesday, the servers are going offline because they are installing a new patch for Old Republic, so I will do something random. I am going to post something Tuesday. I'm just going to have to post like a random video. So I don't know what it'll be at this particular moment, but something will go up because I do want to get something up for you guys. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm hopeful to level a lot of my character. I'm going to hit like the Coruscant Heroics several times, and so I'm hopeful to at least hit it one time through. I did it a little bit already, so we can be really high leveled, so by the time we actually record, we can get just so much done, which I think will be really cool. Anyway, that's going to call it for this one, guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later. Hey guys, Darth Clark here. Oh my gosh, though, what an upset. Darius is like, forget your type advantage, scrub. And look at that stat line. Ooh, sexy. This is your chance, my dude. It's tear gas. Reznov, save me. Everyone's rushing. Let's rush too. You could say we're rushing to the objective. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna shoot your little toes. You think PETA's gonna come after me for just executing these monkeys for literally no reason at all? Shoot at me. So oh my gosh. Be careful what you wish for, kids. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.